Wild and Free Art. Today we are going to have some fun and make some nice decorative paper, paper that I have dubbed celestial paper because I love the way it looks like the night sky. This paper has two sides to it and it feels quite durable, and it's a great way to use up unwanted advertisements, excessive printed out sheets, and the bottoms of any paint that you might have. So I've just got my little sample one here in my little swatch book. I don't know if anyone else has a paper swatch book, but I do. So I'll show you how you are going to make that. So what you need in order to make the paper is, first of all, scrap paper. This was just something from an instruction manual. I have leftover printed stuff that I printed out for, you know, the kids to do. They did it, and then they've passed on and moved on to something else. And, you know, since it's printed on one side, it's hard to tea stain to use again. And this kind of stuff usually ended up in the recycling. But by doing this type of paper, you end up using it all, and it makes some really beautiful pages in a journal. So all that kind of paper that you want, you're going to need some acrylic paints. I recommend mostly darker colors, especially because it's printed on. So you might have some trouble if you use a lot of light colors to not see the part underneath. So you'll need those. Because I like some sparkle in my celestial papers, I have some glitter here. I didn't buy it. It came as one of the many things that comes with the kids, so I'm using it. But you could also use crushed eyeshadow, anything with mica in it. Or if you wanted and didn't want to buy new glitter, you can also scrape it off of like Christmas cards and birthday cards, just carefully into a small container. So it's not, because you can't recycle that, cards with glitter on them, but you can reuse the glitter. So some of them are easier than others, but you can just scrape it off and collect it, or you can just omit this step completely if you don't want to. You'll also need a large paintbrush and a brayer if you want it, and I would also suggest using some gesso or white paint, white acrylic paint, to do a layer on, to layer both sides of the paper, because this helps to, one, hide a bit of the writing, and two, it adds like an extra layer of strength on both sides of the paper. So I have various things in various stages to show you a bit faster for the video, but we'll start with just using one of these, and I'm just going to cover it in gesso. This is the gesso I use. It's Reeves Mediums gesso. Any gesso will do, or as I said, white paint, white acrylic paint will work too. So you just apply a layer of gesso with your brush. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the smoother better. There we go. And then you set it aside to dry, and once it's dry, you do the other side as well. For the sake of the video, I already have some pre-gessoed papers for you. So this is what they look like after the gesso. So you can see I have like just scribbled pages, all these kinds of things here. And yeah, they're ready to go with the gesso. So now comes the fun part where you get to be creative and excited. So all you need to do is squeeze on some bits of color the way you want it, whatever you imagine a night sky or a solar system would be like. I just go very randomly. Some of them come out lighter, some of them come out darker. I'll give some pink a try just for fun on this one. I always have a little bit of black because that just helps, especially with the more printed ones. This one isn't so bad, but and maybe some light purple. A lighter blue. It's a good way to finish up all those half empty tubes. All right. All right, and now begins the fun. Just start painting. And because you've gessoed, the paint spreads a lot easier and the paper doesn't tear so much. If you see it starts to dry off just a bit, you can spritz a bit of water on it too. That also gives it a kind of distant starry look sometimes if you let it sit. If you feel like the dark color is overpowered or you want to take some off, you can just use the brayer, which will lift off some of the paint, revealing what's underneath. And you can see this way, I can see some of that red color that's come in. And then the next step is to sprinkle some stars. Okay, and then you go set it to dry. I'll do another one with you just for fun on screen. I would suggest leaving these to dry naturally. They dry fairly quickly in about an hour or so. Usually by the time I've finished painting the last paper in my stack, the first one is dry and ready for the other side to be painted. So again, for the sake of the video, I already have some pre-painted papers on one side. So when they've dried, that's what they look like. This one is the other side of the instructions, so you can kind of see it, but not so bad. This one was painted with a bit lighter colors, so you can kind of see a little bit. But the darker ones are definitely like practically invisible. You can't really see that there was anything on the other side. So yeah, basically, once you're done round one, you do the same on the back. Flip it over. If you want, you can do a kind of coordinating color combination, or you can just do something completely and totally different. Got another little bit of blue that requires finishing. Since there's blue on the edge of this, I may as well go prevalently blue. And there you go, 2 sides. If you do have some white along the edge afterwards, you could always just easily ink it to make it dark after you've trimmed it down and cut it down to size. So I'm going to do a few more off camera and I'm going to let them dry and then I will show you the finished results. Okay, so the celestial papers have now dried and it's a few days later and I thought I would show you how they came out once they were dry. This is one of the really nice blue ones. I love the sparkle and the shimmer on both sides. Here's just one of the little instructions. See that now that it's dry, you can barely see any of the writing. I mean, if you look really, really carefully, you can. But I think it's done a pretty good job. Also, I've folded some already to use in signatures, and they feel absolutely amazing, and they look fabulous. There's another one. I just love them. Absolutely adore how they look and feel, and it feels like cloth. The only thing maybe to remember is they do kind of stick to each other, so maybe put a different paper in between when you're using them as signatures. I love this one with the speckled stars. That happened when I spritzed a bit of water on it. You can also sew them just to get a bit of, you know, additional texture to them. Basically, you can use them like any paper, and unless you hold it really up to the light, you see, now you can see. If you really hold it up, you can kind of see. But if you're just using it normally, you don't really see the original paper. So, yeah, I hope you have enjoyed making these papers with me, and I cannot wait to see what you do. Please feel free to show me your results in the comments or tag me on Instagram at Life is Wild and Free. And if you found this video interesting and fun, please don't forget to like and subscribe, as every little helps. Thank you so much for being here today, and happy crafting.